blood of covenant, the bread of covenant, the body of covenant, the flesh of covenant. That anyone that partakes of this bread, anyone that partakes of this wine is in an agreement, is in a perpetual covenant with me. So food is one of the most important things we need to pay attention to as people of God. It will easily lure you into making a covenant with whatever or whoever you are not ready to make a covenant with. Why do we eat? Is there a need for us to eat? Just as I'm telling us earlier, why do we eat? Are we supposed to be eating just as we are eating? Is there a purpose? Is there a reason for us to be eating? The reason why we eat, generally, we eat for sustenance. We eat to sustain ourselves. But in the realm of the spirit, after you've eaten to sustain yourself, the food you eat runs into an altar or runs to an altar. When the spirit that resides on the altar picks the food, he decides what to do with it. If there's no word, if there's no words that are spoken over the food, the body just takes the food, or the soul takes the food and do whatever he wants to do with it, according to what it pleases him at that time or her at that time to do with. So you are good to go. But when you eat and the food is based on a thing, you eat by making a covenant. So number one reason why we eat foods, we eat to create memories. When we say a memory, we are talking about something that brings you a reflection of past events, past happenings. What do you do to bring you past happenings? Some of these things can be done through food. The things we do today, we can remember them as a sign of the foods we eat today or the foods we ate yesterday. When a woman plaits her hair, when a woman wears makeup, when a woman puts on a nice clothes, or a man puts up a nice garment, at a point we take pictures. When we enter into different events and occasions, we take pictures. So when we open our albums and we begin to remember the things, we reflect over some of the things we've done. There are certain places when your eyes set on those places, you begin to remember, you begin to reminisce over some of the things that took place and that place where you lived, something you went there to do at that particular time. When you got there at a moment of your life, something that took place or happened at that moment, you begin to remember it. So one of the things to bring about memory is how we eat and where we eat. If you want to create a memory with somebody, if you want to build a covenant of memory with somebody, take the person to an eatery place, a woman, a man. If you want to say something to somebody, you want the person to hide the words they've said into themselves forever. Take them to an eatery place. Set a banquet before them. Set an eatery before them. And whatever that takes place at that moment, the aroma of the food is able to cause them to remember everything they are taking or everything that is being said at that moment. The food they swallow at that moment is able to cause them to remember everything that is happening or happened at that place. So food is a tool or a commodity to bring about memories. There are a lot of people, as I'm speaking to you, the things that took place at the place of eatery, they still remember them till today. Why? Because the soul picks them based on where you are seated, based on the words you are speaking, and he hides them within a chamber of the body. Whenever the need arises, he brings it back into the memory, or he brings it back into the brain for a remembrance. The Bible says Jesus said to the disciples, "Do this in remembrance of me." So any Christian, any believer who partakes of the cup of the Lord is doing that to remember the Lord. Anyone that takes of the cup of the Lord, the body of the Lord, remembers the death, the cross, the suffering, the resurrection, and the intercessory of Christ unto him or unto her as a believer. That is one of the most important things we do as believers. Therefore, there is the need for us to keep everything we are doing in memory. Whenever you want to keep a memory with somebody, whenever you want someone to keep a memory, give them food. Whilst the food is on the table, while the food is rising with your aroma, begin to tell them whatever you want to tell them. Everything will be stored. The number two reason why we eat: food is an enticer. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, the Bible says, when you sit to dine with a ruler, note, note well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given to gluttony. When you are a person that is given to too much food, when you are a person that has the ability to be lured easily by the aroma of food or by the food itself, you need to be careful. You can be poisoned at any moment. Food can lead you to anywhere you are not ready to find yourself. Verse 3 says, do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. The ruler here can be a symbol of anyone that has invited you to any place. It can be a reason, anyone that has called you to any place at all. Join me at a banquet. Join me at a sitting. The Bible says, a woman by the name Esther, who realized that Haman wanted to kill all of the Israelites in the provinces of Ahasuerus. And by fortune, Esther happened to be the princess in the kingdom of Ahasuerus. The Bible says, Esther prepared a banquet and invited the king and also invited Haman. It was at the place of eating that Haman lost his life. He went home and started bragging that I, Esther, through a banquet, called me and called the king. I have this opportunity and I have that favor. He never realized that that food that was set before him was a snare. Adam and Eve never thought, they never knew that the food they were about to eat was an enticer, was a snare. Esau never thought it wise that the food that is about to be set before him was a snare. They never thought of it. But after they've eaten, after they've took everything into themselves, when the covenant was about working, that was when they realized. I have known a lot of mothers, whenever they want to give food, when they want to give out medication to their children, they literally pass it through the things like food to entice their little ones to take in their foods or to take in their medications. When a child sees foods, when a child sees something that is delicious, when they see these um, groceries that are easy to entice them, sweet and all these things, they are easily moved. So they take them into their bodies. And at a point, they are not just taking foods into their bodies, they are taking medications as well. Your soul can be sold out. Your life can be ended at a particular place. If you eat without thinking, if you eat anyhow without thinking what is said before you. The reason why when people go to various meetings, at the end of the service or within the service, we give item 13s, we set banquet. Come, we are going to throw a party. It is there purposely to entice you and to lure you to bring out every information they want to have from you. Food is a symbol of persuasion. It is a sign of persuasion. Food is designed to persuade the fool. If you eat without thinking, whatever that is within your soul, that is a code, that is a hidden truth, that is hidden in your brain, that is supposed to be sold out for money, somebody would sell it or somebody will buy it just by the aroma of food, just by the food, just a plate of food set before you. You are invited to a wedding and you think they gave you food because you are coming from a far distance. It is never true. You went to a funeral, they gave you food, and you think they gave you food because you are coming from a far distance. You went into a naming ceremony and they gave you food, and you thought they gave you food because you are coming from a far distance. It is never true. The food is given to you to build a covenant. Whenever you find yourself at a eatery place of the dead, you are building a covenant with the dead to tell him or her that you are ever going to be in our heart. We will never forget you. Whenever you find yourself at a wedding, any food you eat over there, you are putting yourself as a witness that so and so date, this and that woman joined themselves together, and I, and so, I am a witness to this wedding, and I am going to see to it that this wedding stands both in storms and also in good times. You need to be careful. You just don't eat. If you don't know the person that is there, you don't eat the food. You don't know the wedding you are attending, you just don't need the food. Because when the marriage is about hitting rock, you'll be questioned, why didn't you see to it that this marriage worked, even though you built a covenant with them? And how are they going to trace you? They are going to trace you by the foods you ate, by the signature. Your soul is going to sign a signature. So they are going to trace you through that form. Food is a symbol of love. We eat to create love. Whenever there is an arrival, whenever there is a fight, whenever there is any dispute between two parties, whenever they want to bring themselves together, they sit at the eatery. Whenever everything has been resolved and they want to bring their pieces or their peace back together, they eat at a dining. They sit at a table. They partake of a cup. They partake of a food, and it binds them once again. Food is a sign of life.